This program is made possible through the support of our generous sponsors. The Talk of Paynesville, a Paynesville Area Community Education production in association with the Paynesville Area Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome to the Talk of Paynesville, our new community live stream talk show. I'm Jacob Bertram. Thank you for joining us. Each week, we plan on interviewing local guests to see what's happening in our community. These are interesting times we are all going through, and we believe a strong community is important and will help us to get through this together. Please add any interview suggestions in the comment section below. Our first guest today is Mr. Brandon Pietsch, the administrator at Centracare, Paynesville. Thank you, Brandon, for joining us.
Well, thanks, Jacob. It's nice to be here.
Well, how does it feel to be the first guest on our talk show?
Well, working through the technology issues, I think it's going to be okay.
Well, great. Yeah, thanks again for joining us here. So how's everything going at Centracare in Paynesville?
You know, it's really a busy time for us. It's different right now with all the COVID-19 information and challenges that we're all facing in our individual worlds. Our facilities are usually busy, bustling places, and with the changes around COVID, many of our clinic and outreach services have had hours temporarily changed or closed, and we've been trying to support the Minnesota stay-at-home effort, and it's also been an opportunity for us to help preserve some of the personal protective equipment that we expect that we're going to need as we see more and more patients affected by COVID-19. For me, it's been really personally rewarding time to be able to have reach outs to various community members and just to see the encouragement and the support and appreciation and people saying is we can do to help. Really very welcomed and appreciated by myself and our organization.
Yeah, it's great to see the community come together during this time and to be able to help out everyone. So how about the nursing homes and assisted living centers? How are they doing during this time?
Well, as you're probably aware, it's been we're in our fourth or fifth week of actually having our senior care facilities locked down to visitors, which unfortunately includes family members, and it also includes the ability for our residents and tenants to leave our facility. So it's been a significant change for them. Early in the process, we were a little bit more loose with allowing visitors on a limited basis. And as the COVID situation has progressed, the recommendations and guidelines coming out to us from the Minnesota Department of Health have become much more restrictive. In fact, yesterday, we're not even allowed to continue with dining in small groups in our dining area or offer small group activities. Previously, we've been able to do of around 6 people, working with the social distancing guidelines and those types of criteria. So I think as they get closer and closer to the surge in Minnesota, they're much more concerned about the vulnerability of those populations in our senior care facilities. And so we're doing everything we can to be compliant with what the recommendations and guidance is from the Minnesota Department of Health.
So being that most people in the nursing homes and assisted living centers are, quarantined to their room and have to stay in there, is there anything that we can do to help them, like sending cards or calling them up or just letting them know that we were here for them?
Oh, absolutely. We've had tremendous support from families. You'll see people visiting through the windows. When it was a little bit nicer, we were able to have our patio open and We've had a lot of kids in the neighborhood doing sidewalk chalk drawings, and they've been doing hearts in the windows. And I saw an article in the paper a couple weeks ago where family was wishing happy birthday wishes to one of their loved ones at Stearns Place. So, but all three of our facilities, Stearns, Washburn, and Cronus Manor, are impacted by these guidelines and requirements.
So we hear in the news every day about the shortages on the personal protective gear and ventilators. So how is our local hospital supply system in our system?
Well, in Paynesville, we have 4 ventilators in our system. Centracare, we're fortunate to be part of a larger system, and Centracare has actually implemented an incident command structure and a planning process that will actually move towards the COVID positive patients being transferred to the St. Cloud Hospital for care. So essentially, our sites and the other regional sites within Centracare will be supporting St. Cloud Hospital by offloading some of their medical patients to help create capacity at the St. Cloud Hospital. Yes, eventually we will have COVID positive patients in our facilities. And the goal at this point is that until their testing has come back positive, we would keep them in our facility and then transfer them up to St. Cloud for extensive care there.
So Brandon, I know you touched on this earlier, but so as of this time, there are no current cases in Paynesville.
We have not had any tests that have been done that have come back positive as of this moment.
Okay.
We have done testing though.
Okay. I know you talked about earlier of the hospital being different hours and different regulations of bringing people in. So if people had previous appointments scheduled before this whole COVID-19 epidemic hit, will they still be able to get their appointments done, or if they had blood work to do, are they still allowed to go into the hospital?
Some of the things that are happening, we're still trying to reach out and provide patient care to our patients. It is a challenging time. It's a different time. We've had to look at different ways in how to provide care and service to our patients. We're seeing about 20% of our normal volume in our clinics. And so as a result of that, we've temporarily closed our Eden Valley Clinic, and we've reduced hours at our Richmond and Paynesville clinics. We're no longer offering evening hours at either one of those sites. They're basically open from 8 until 5, and we do ask that people have appointments before they're coming in. We're not encouraging walk-in calls or those kinds of things, but some of the things that have happened technology-wise, the regulations have been relaxed some around video visits and phone visits, so we've been able to get that kicked off in a pretty quick fashion. And so patients are actually having video visits with their providers. And for the most part, that's working well. There is some phone visits that's happening as well, There's also the opportunity to connect through MyChart messaging with a patient's primary care provider. We have an e-clinic, and that's a Centracare offering that's available for patients to use. And then those are probably the main things, but the video visits are really what's kicked off in the last week or two. We're also starting to do those for the nursing home so that our providers aren't going in and out of that setting. That actually started yesterday in Paynesville. So just really trying to create those opportunities to continue to provide support to our patients. All of our clinic patients, we're in the process of contacting to just touch base with them and make sure that they have what they need. If there's any questions or things that we might be able to help with during this time frame, we'll be available to support. There's other great resources out there on the Centracare website, and obviously Minnesota Department of Health, the CDC website. Those are other reliable sources of information, and I would encourage people to check those out if they have specific questions or concerns. And obviously, they can certainly call our campus as well, and we'll do our best to answer and guide their questions.
So, Brandon, do you have any other comments or suggestions for our viewers tuning in right now?
Well, yeah, I think a couple things that I would say is, the general prevention of COVID-19 is something that we're all extremely concerned about, and the general guidelines that you're hearing in the media are so important to take heed to. The stay-at-home. Now we know the stay-at-home order has been extended through May 4th at this point, and the objective of that is really to push that curve out so that we have time to continue to prepare for potential large volumes of patients that could be coming into healthcare facilities. The concept of social distancing is very important for people to follow as well, and I think for the most part, people have been doing a good job. Those businesses that are opening or that are still remain open have implemented changes. You'll see tape marks on the floors or face shields by the cash registers or different things like that. Wash your hands, don't touch your face. Those are some other generally good guidelines. Make sure that you're sanitizing and cleaning areas that are frequently touched, and then more recently the guidance about wearing face protection or covering either when you're out in public or when you're in areas that you're in close proximity to individuals. So I think those are some things to think about. I think for us at Centracare, we really look at our organization as a partner in health for the people that we serve. And we're here, we're working to take care of our patients and those that we serve in Paynesville and the outlying communities. And we look forward to continuing to do that work in the weeks and months ahead as we continue to work through the crisis. And again, just general appreciation for the support that our organization has been receiving from the community. Thank you.
Well, again, Brandon, thank you so much for joining us today and being the first guest on the Talk of Paynesville. Hope you have a good rest of your day and stay safe out there.
Well, and I wish you good luck with the show. I think it's a great thing to reach out to people when we don't have the opportunity to necessarily go down to the coffee shop or out to the cafe or whatever and have those visits. So thank you for what you and community education are doing as well. We appreciate it.
Thank you. More fun and guests are on the way. Now let's hear from our sponsors who help make this possible.
We all want to be centered on life's best moments. The big ones, the small ones. We know you don't have time for complicated banking, and we believe you deserve something more. Our friendly and knowledgeable team is here to make banking easier with the right financial accounts, loans, and services to fit your needs. It's our promise to you to place your needs at the center of all we do. Central Minnesota Credit Union, centered on you.
There have been many closings in a short time period, including many churches. The Christian calendar this week is Holy Week, one of the busiest and most important times of the year for Christians. Our next guest is Pastor Jim Pritchett. He is representing the Paynesville Ministerial Group. Hello, Pastor Jim. How are you doing today?
Doing well, Jacob. Thanks for this opportunity.
Absolutely. So how's everything going at Crystal Hills?
Well, it is. This is definitely a new era of time we find ourselves in. Um, when Jesus gave that great commission to go into all the world and preach the gospel, we didn't realize that at some point that would mean actually we couldn't go to church and would have to find a new way to do that. So it's new.
So being everything is new, did you ever imagine there would be a time you would not be allowed to hold an Easter service in your church?
Never saw that coming in all of my years. And I can speak for all of our pastors here in Paynesville. We never thought a time like this would come, where during Holy Week and with the coming of Resurrection Sunday, we would not be able to actually be together in unity, worshiping God. But it's one of those that has brought about some great things in all of our churches in what really matters when it comes to worshiping God. So even though we may not be able to meet on Resurrection Sunday, we still, almost every church is doing something to be able to have a presence online to worship with their congregations.
And with that, Pastor Jim, I know many churches are going to the online venue. Is there a way that people at home can know where to tune into or what churches are involved with that?
Absolutely, Jacob. The Paynesville Ministerial has a Facebook page, and we recently put up a page on that has all of the churches that have online resources. So it's kind of a one-stop page, if you will. You could go on a search engine and type in like Paynesville Lutheran, Crystal Hills Assembly, and find out things. But the page on the Facebook Ministerial page has everything listed. It says whether or not they're YouTube or Facebook oriented, and everything is right there for the services this Sunday. I've talked to most of our pastors that are either pre-recording and having a message ready, or like at Crystal Hills, we're blessed with technology that we're able to keep our worship team the appropriate distance apart, but bring a live service online to you for this Resurrection Sunday as well.
And it's great for the community to be still involved and be able to still be a part of their services in their community. So has your church and other ministerial members seen an increase of any needs of the community during this crisis?
I'm not sure about increase in needs. What it has done for us as pastors and staff is, as we have a community that is very balanced with all age groups represented, many of our older parishioners, we've found new ways to connect with them, to bring groceries. I even like that our mayor, and through his church, as he has time, has put out there that he will go get groceries for people. And I think that is just an incredible way that we are able as churches to give back to those who are worshiping with us. When we have needs and we're finding out there our needs, we are trying to meet them the best we can. And that's what God's called us to do as a faith community.
Exactly. There's been many negative aspects of COVID-19, social distancing, etc. Have you seen any positives come about this situation?
Actually, I was just recently having conversations with my wife and a couple others. And one of the things with Holy Week is a lot of times the world has added a whole lot of different trappings to this beautiful time. And what we've seen is, because we can't get out, there isn't a whole lot of extraneous things, extra things that are piling on us during this time where we should be looking at the reason for the day ahead of us, which is the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And so for me personally in our church, and I have talked with at least one other pastor here locally, it has been really good because our focus hasn't been on other things. It's actually been on the reason for this day. And so I believe that one of the positive aspects is It's brought families together. Families who have been separated for whatever reason, they're coming together now, and they are spending time together. And we're hoping that as our churches provide resources online, they will spend time together with God as well. And that's been the great output of this, I believe.
And exactly like you said earlier, people are able to tune in to any service they want in their living room, and with today's technology, that's awesome that people are able to do that and still be able to worship the way they can, like a weekly mass. You still can do what you want to do with that.
Yes. If I may, Jacob, there's one thing with that too, is we all watch on our television screens our various congregational pastors and priests bring mass and services. Don't just be a watcher. Even in your own home, if there is a time in your service where you would normally kneel to pray, do it. Kneel where you are. Continue to do the things you would do in church in your home. Stand up, sing. It might seem a little weird, but who's there to hear you except God the Father? So continue, I would say to everybody, if you're worshiping online, worship at home just like you would in church. It brings a more realistic feel to you in your spirit.
Exactly. Well, Pastor Jim, do you have any other comments or suggestions for our viewers during this time?
Well, many of our pastors are putting things out during the week, messages of encouragement. I would say log into any of our churches, check out what they have for resources. I know I'm putting out a message midweek on Facebook just to encourage people during this time. And as we're doing, we find new ways of doing things. There is a possibility, I believe one of our churches may have church this Sunday in the parking lot, where everybody pulls up but stays in their cars and they hear the message, but they can at least wave and see people, which I think is going to be a really cool way that we would never have thought about, Jacob, 6 months ago doing church. What this has done is it's making us think outside of the box or outside of the church in ways to worship God. And so as the creativity continues to abound, I'm amazed at what I'm seeing around town here, and I'm very encouraged. And I thank you for the opportunity to be able to share.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks again for coming today, and hopefully you take care and stay safe with your family and the rest of the Ministerial group as well.
Thank you, Jacob.
Have a great day. Well, folks, you're feeling hungry? I know I am. Coming up, we'll let you know where you can order takeouts to support our local businesses.
This program is made possible through the support of our generous sponsors. The Talk of Paynesville, a Paynesville Area Community Education production in association with the Paynesville Area Chamber of Commerce.
During this time, we have many local businesses who are still offering carry-out food services for our community. I'm going to give a list of the people who are open during this time. Paynesville Subway is open from 10 to 8 Monday through Friday. Just call 243-7676 to order or use the Subway app. Queen Bee's is open for takeout. Just call 320-243-3975. Firehouse Coffee is open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Just call 243-2222. Jumpstart Nutrition. Call or text for a grab-and-go or curbside pickup. 320-894-0325. And Hilltop Takeout Food only on weekends, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And their phone number is 320-243-4578. You can visit the Paynesville Chamber website at paynesvillechamber.org, which has a map on the home page listing all the local area restaurants and their hours and service offered during this shutdown. If you'd like to make an investment into our community, please consider joining the Paynesville Chamber of Commerce. We are currently accepting new individuals and business members to join our team. For more information about joining the chamber, visit paynesvillechamber.org. Live sports around the world and country has ended, but don't let that get you down. We have a lot of our top Bulldog high school sports in a convenient playlist on our YouTube channel. YouTube.com/Paynesville Studios has a full list of our games, of our previous games. Well, thanks everyone for watching and bearing with us during this time. I know I'm not a cable news reporter, but we will get there hopefully soon. We plan on doing a weekly broadcast, and if you have any suggestions for what we can do to get this better, just feel free to put it in the comments section below or contact Matt Dickhausen. And take a moment right now to hit subscribe. You'll be notified when we have new content available for you, and you'll be able to listen to and hear us whenever you would like. See you next time on the Talk of Paynesville. I'm Jacob Bertram. Stay safe, stay home, and stay cool, Paynesville.
We all want to be centered on life's best moments. The big ones, the small ones. We know you don't have time for complicated banking, and we believe you deserve something more. Our friendly and knowledgeable team is here to make banking easier with the right financial accounts, loans, and services to fit your needs. It's our promise to you to place your needs at the center of all we do. Central Minnesota Credit Union, centered on you.